Tonight, a report on a motion filed to dismiss the case challenging the construction of a Winco in Moses Lake. And the Royal City Food Bank gets some help from a big donation. What's happening in sports, Bob?
Big Bend baseball is off to a hot start, and local swimmers find success at the regional swim meet. Let's take a quick peek at our Weather Center forecast.
Hi everyone, Chesley here at the Weather Center. There is that threat of snow along the Cascades and some precipitation towards the coastal area, but I have good news. Conditions will be improving. I'll have more details for you very soon.
I'm Amber Jenks, and we have all this and much more on iFIBER 1 News.
From the iFIBER 1 HD studio here in the heart of the Columbia Basin, this is iFIBER 1 News, your #1 source for local news, sports headlines, and our very own Weather Center forecast covering the entire Columbia Basin. This is iFIBER 1 News, and it starts now.
Winco's attorney is asking a judge to dismiss a case challenging a Moses Lake Planning Commission decision concerning the construction of a store. Attorney John Sitkin filed the motion in Donna Anderson, Peggy Vines, and a stronger Moses Lakes challenge to the commission deciding the city did not make a mistake in the State Environmental Policy Act process. Sitkin argued in a 12-page motion that Anderson, Vines, and a stronger Moses Lake did not show they suffered an injury in fact. In response to the allegation, the challenger's attorney, Michael Whipple, responded with claims of multiple ways his clients were injured by the decision, including how his clients were denied the right to notice because the city allegedly didn't provide enough time between publishing the notice in the newspaper and setting the deadline. The case is scheduled to return to court on March 18th. People can ask questions or comment during a Moses Lake School District Community Forum on Thursday evening. Reporter Devin Higgins has the details.
Moses Lake parents and community members are invited to join Moses Lake School District officials at their next community forum on Thursday. The forum takes place from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Endeavor Middle School Gymnasium located at 6527 Patton Boulevard Northeast. District administrators and 2 members of the school board will answer questions and discuss topics relevant to students, parents, teachers, and schools. There is no specific agenda for the meeting, and participants are asked to bring questions or topics to discuss. The Moses Lake School District Board of Directors voted to hold monthly community forums during the 2015-2016 school year to keep residents informed and to present opportunities to speak to district personnel directly in an open format. In Moses Lake, Devin Higgins for iFIBER 1 News.
A Moses Lake man claims he borrowed someone else's pants and the heroin wasn't his. Police noticed Dennis Hinman, a 46-year-old Moses Lake man, riding his bike on North Stratford Road on Friday afternoon. He has a warrant for failing to appear in court for a criminal trespass charge. According to Moses Lake Police, on Monday, Hinman was contacted by police inside McDonald's after he used the restroom. Police reportedly found a syringe filled with a dark substance in his pocket. He allegedly told police he did not use heroin in the restroom. The suspect reportedly later claimed he had the syringe because he had diabetes and the pants he was wearing were not his. Later, Hinman claimed he found the substance suspected to be heroin on the ground and he put it in his pocket. He was arrested for the warrant, and the substance was sent to the Washington State Crime Lab for analysis. The driver accused of a head-on collision allegedly told Moses Lake Police it was self-defense. Dennis Kaufman, a 55-year-old Moses Lake man, was driving a Ford Escape on West Loop Drive on Friday. He reportedly noticed his neighbor, a 53-year-old Moses Lake man, approaching in his Toyota Tundra pickup truck. According to Moses Lake Police on Monday, Kaufman is accused of purposely driving his SUV head-on into the pickup truck. Neither driver was injured. The suspect fled and was confronted by police at his residence, where 2 loaded firearms were allegedly found at the front door. Kaufman reportedly said he struck the pickup truck in self-defense. He allegedly told the victim was trying to kill him during the past month. Police claim they found no evidence supporting his defense. Police arrested Kaufman and he was taken to Samaritan Hospital for a mental health evaluation. A report was sent to the prosecutor's office to determine criminal charges. Now we take a look at people being sought by law enforcement.
This is Sheriff Tom Jones with the Grant County Sheriff's Office. Each of the people you see here have a warrant for their arrest. If you see any of these people, we ask you do not attempt to detain or apprehend them, but call us at 509-762-1160 or send us an email at crimetips@co.grant.wa.us. If the person is presenting a danger, call 911. With your help, we can bring these people to justice and make our community safer.
We'll be back right after this.
Here comes Obamacare, the biggest change in the tax code in 20 years. I'm ABC's Richard Davies with today's tax tip. This year's tax season marks the first time you'll be asked for information regarding your health insurance. Eric Smith of the IRS says for most people, this will be a non-issue.
For more than 3 out of 4 taxpayers, the change will involve just simply checking a box on your return.
That box indicates that you had health coverage, and most likely through your employer. Others who bought government-backed health care and received a tax credit to help them pay for it will have to account for whether they calculated correctly. Kathy Pickering of H&R Block says there'll either be a payment or a refund.
When they come in to file their taxes, now they're reconciling how they estimated their income to what their actual income is.
The IRS says if you're low income and not required to file a tax return, you don't have to buy health coverage. But for those who could afford it and chose not to, they'll get a fine. With today's tax tip, Richard Davies, ABC News.
Now for your iFIBER 1 News Weather Center forecast.
Hi everyone, I'm Chaselyn Rodriguez bringing you your local weather. This weather segment is brought to you by Barry Motors, one great place to buy and service a car. Taking a closer look at our headlines within the next few days, conditions improving for much of our state, especially for the second half of the work week. In the meantime, for tonight, for us here in Ephrata, mostly clear skies are expected with dry conditions. Showers will decrease by the second half of the work week for much of the west, and coming through within the next few days, high pressure is in control for the inland northwest, bringing dry conditions and mostly sunny skies. Taking a closer look at our almanac within the past 24 hours, we woke up with temperatures in the lower 30s, around the normal for this time of year. Maximum temperatures in the lower 50s, slightly below the normal for this time of year, and our sunset at 7:05 p.m. And right now, outside your door, partly cloudy skies. Temperatures remain in the lower 50s. Those winds pushing through from the west-southwest up to 9 miles per hour. Precipitation along the west. There is that threat of mountain snow, a mixture of snow and rain, and then rain mainly towards the southwest. Conditions improving for much of the east, especially towards central parts along our area here in Ephrata, and towards the inland northwest, a mixture of rain and snow, but conditions quickly improving by the second half of the work week. Towards the southeast, there is that minor threat of precipitation, but through the late afternoon hours, conditions will improve. And for the morning commute and afternoon commute, we're expecting dry conditions. A little bit of cloud cover, mainly towards the north along the Cascades, but we're expecting dry conditions for the second half of the work week. In the meantime, let's go ahead and take a look at those maximum temperatures for tomorrow along the coastal area, ranging from the upper 40s to lower 50s with mostly sunny skies. A little bit of cloud cover along Seattle in the lower 50s. Yakima in the upper 50s, almost hitting that 60-degree mark. And towards the inland northwest, temperatures from the mid to upper 40s with mostly sunny skies. Taking a closer look at our maximum temperatures here around our Columbia Basin, temperatures ranging from the lower 50s to mid 50s, Royal City and Moses Lake, as well as for us here in Ephrata, temperatures in the mid 50s, Bridgeport in the lower 50s. Taking a closer look at our extended forecast for the week. Sunny and dry until the weekend. We're expecting abundant sunshine for the second half of the work week. For Wednesday, even for Thursday, temperatures ranging from the mid 50s to lower 50s, mid 50s for Friday with mostly sunny skies and through the overnight hours in the lower 30s. But then coming through for the weekend, another increase in temperatures hitting that 60-degree mark for the first day of spring, March 20th. We're expecting a little bit of cloud cover and that minor threat of precipitation through the overnight hours, extending for the beginning of the work week. Thank you all for joining us. We'll be right back with sports.
Whether you're looking for a bigger car to support your growing family, a new truck for your business, or something to pull that toy of yours, we've got you covered at Barry Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Ephrata. Come see us today and learn why your family, friends, and neighbors buy their cars at Barry. On Basin Street for more than 35 years, and with locations in Moses Lake and Wenatchee, we are one great place to buy a car. Call or click 754-2411 or barrysaves.com.
To save some energy, I've used Einstein's mass energy equivalence to design the haptic suits you see in front of you. They will maintain our core body temperature while we completely turn off our heat and air conditioning. With the money we save on our Grant PD bill, I'll be expecting that trip to Disneyland this year.
You don't need to be a super genius to save energy and money. Visit grantpud.org to learn how.
Big Bend baseball is off to one of its best starts in recent memory. The Vikings have opened their non-league schedule with 7 straight wins. The team is averaging 6 runs per ball game and is playing solid defense. I talked with Coach Pete Doman, who said he's pleased with the start, but added the team still has some work to do before they are ready for league play to begin. Doman wants to get more offensive production out of the bottom of the order, but even more important is getting his pitching staff healthy and solidifying his starting rotation. Miles Bigelow, who was pegged in as the Vikings' #1 arm, as well as projected starter Parker Stroh and closer Caleb Whitlock, are dealing with arm and shoulder problems. Big Bend is back on the diamond at Larson Field Friday for a doubleheader with Thompson River. Eric Kemper turned in a strong performance at the Northwest Regional Short Course Championships in Federal Way. The unattached 13-year-old swam to an 8th place finish in the 200 butterfly and a 10th place finish in the 100 fly. His time of 2:08.65 in the 200 qualified Kemper for the age group zones meet in Cairns, Utah, August the 10th through the 13th. Well, a couple of swimmers from the Monterey Aquatics found success at the regional meet as well. 15-year-old Cora Dana had a top 20 finish in the 50 freestyle. Teammate Zachary Washburn stole the show in his age group. The 12-year-old touched first in the 50, 100, and 200 freestyle and the 50 butterfly. His time in the 50 fly and 100 free set new Inland Empire standards. Washburn also placed 3rd in the 100 individual medley and 4th in the 500 IM. Well, the Mariners split squad dropped an 8-3 ball game to the Diamondbacks Monday. Taiwan Walker got the start and gave up 4 runs on 7 hits with 3 strikeouts in 3 1/3 innings. He gave up runs in the 1st and 2nd innings and then worked a scoreless 3rd. Walker was yanked after giving up a single and a double with 1 out in the 4th. Seattle scored all 3 runs in the top of the 3rd, capped by Kyle Seager's 2-run blast over the right center field wall. We'll be back after this short break.
Well, one thing I knew from being a patient myself was that a dental office is a scary place to come to. And so we wanted everything possible to make sure that our office is a comfortable place for our patients to visit. The patients that I have, my clients, have made me a part of this community, and we want to give back in every way possible.
You don't have to drive to Seattle for exceptional cancer care. Confluence Health's cancer program delivers world-class care close to home. We have a highly experienced oncology team in a state-of-the-art facility, and we're a member of the Seattle Cancer Care Alliance, which gives our patients access to world-renowned therapies developed at Fred Hutchinson, the University of Washington Medicine, and Seattle Children's. Together with the SCCA, we're delivering world-class cancer care close to home.
Our spotlight story tonight is about the Grant County historian Mick Qualls discussing the changes in Ephrata during World War II. Reporter Joe Utter has the story.
Protecting the Grand Coulee Dam after the attack on Pearl Harbor transformed the Ephrata area into a military hub and a training ground for soldiers deployed during World War II. Grant County historian Mick Qualls discussed the changes in Ephrata as the U.S. joined World War II during a presentation on Monday night. Back before the war in the early 1940s, Qualls said the idea was to bring military presence to central Washington to protect both the Grand Coulee and Bonneville dams. The attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941 brought significant changes to Ephrata. as the U.S. government began transitioning civilian airports in Washington to military airports, including the Ephrata Airport.
There were 17 civilian airports that they made into military. And if you just go up to Pangborn Field, that's the same thing. Then go over to Ellensburg, go to Yakima, go to Pasco, go to Walla Walla, go to even Lynn out here had a training site. And that's what these were training sites where you could fly airplanes. This is the Ephrata Airport now, and it's after Pearl Harbor. And now this picture, if you were flying this airplane, see that star on that wing, this was such a high security place. If you got caught taking a picture like that, man, they would put you in prison for good. But it was such high security.
In just 4 years, thousands of soldiers were trained to deploy to either the Pacific or Europe.
It's amazing what they did, because the first group of guys that trained here were bomber pilots. Then they changed over to fighter pilots. In 4 years, trained 7,000 pilots coming in on a train, train them, put them up for maybe 4 months, put them back on the train in groups. They didn't go individually. They processed out in bomber groups and either went to the Pacific or went to England, to Germany. And this is where they were. This is what it looked like. And in any of the books about Ephrata, this is in August, by the way. It was hot, dry, dusty, rattlesnakes, and I don't even know what they had to eat up there then, but it was pretty darn crude. Now, you guys are probably, what's amazing to me is the number of men who trained here that died, but you can bet, and they knew what was going on in the Pacific and in Europe, and they knew when they left this town, good chance they weren't coming back to even the United States. The other thing about these 7,000 men, you guys, probably 5,000 of them got killed. And it was a dangerous, dangerous job flying.
This is Joe Utter for iFIBER 1 News.
We'll be right back after this.
Experience speed like never before when you connect to Grant PUD's high-speed network. Visit grantpud.org to learn more.
We are real students, and this really is our college.
My dream will change the outcome of my life.
My college is allowing me to achieve my dream.
My dream is to be a pilot.
My dream is to be a nurse.
Only you can determine your dream. Big Bend will help you get there.
What's your dream?
Welcome back. A Richland man was injured in a crash early Monday morning on State Route 243, about 12 miles north of Mattawa. Robert Meldrum, a 39-year-old man, was driving north in a 1984 Peterbilt semi-truck, pulling trailers filled with hay on SR 243. The rear trailer reportedly went off the road and onto the shoulder, causing the other trailer to roll, dumping the load of hay. According to the Washington State Patrol, Meldrum was taken to Cadlick Medical Center in Richland for his injuries. The State Patrol issued the driver a ticket for driving with his wheels off of the roadway. A man allegedly led Grant County Sheriff's deputy on a chase through the Moses Lake Walmart parking lot. Prosecutors charged Matthew Hazenberg, a 34-year-old Moses Lake resident in Grant County Superior Court, with attempting to elude a pursuing police vehicle. A deputy reportedly spotted a Honda Civic with an expired registration turning onto Stratford Road. According to the Grant County Sheriff's Office, the car turned onto the Walmart driveway and the deputy followed. The Civic's driver allegedly turned into the Ross parking lot and led a chase through the Walmart parking lot and into the Big Five parking lot. The suspect allegedly nearly struck several parked vehicles and pedestrians trying to avoid the officer. Hazenberg reportedly stopped the car and ran toward Walmart. The officer used a taser to stop him as they were entering the second set of Walmart doors. Hazenberg allegedly hit his head on the tile floor when he fell. The injury required 10 staples. The Royal City Food Bank received a $2,500 donation from the America's Farmers Grow Communities. The food bank was recommended for the donation by Grant County farmer Pat Lee Jr. The donation helps purchase basic food items and pay for facility rent and utilities while helping families visiting the food bank each week. Royal City Food Bank Director Dorothy Lee is Pat's mother and said the food bank helps about 150 households each week. The donation will help them and the 20 volunteers who serve at the food bank. In Northwest News, a neighborhood in Oregon has a bit of a rat problem, and it appears a woman wanting to feed the birds and squirrels may be to blame. For CNN, Amy Fraser has the story.
Or the rats will be squeak, 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 and they'll be running around chasing each other on the bank and going into their holes.
If Kelly Nightingale had to guess how many rats are living behind her South Salem home,
Probably at least 100 or so.
they've dug holes in her yard and tunnels under her deck, not to mention their droppings.
It's gross. It's disgusting. I don't like having my kids in my yard, you know, with rats running around.
She says last fall she started noticing rats going under her neighbor's gate.
She said that her cats were working on it.
Later, Kelly took this picture.
Inside her gate, just inside her gate, with dried corn overflowing in the feeder. They were coming in and out of the gate right there.
Kelly contacted the city of Salem. Public Works responded and eventually asked for more help from code enforcement. Supervisor Patrick Long tells me the situation qualifies as a public nuisance, which could mean court and a fine for the homeowner providing the food.
I've been doing code enforcement for 15 years. I haven't seen a rat infestation problem to that extent.
A code enforcement officer spoke with the homeowner last week and says she's agreed to clean up any food on the ground. Off camera, I also spoke with the homeowner. She says she only wanted to feed the birds and squirrels.
The lesson is that if you have bird feeders, keep it up off the ground.
Hopefully that, combined with the HOA hiring a pest control company to come out and take care of the problem by this summer.
That's going to do it here for us at iFIBER 1 News. We want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you again tomorrow.